So let's just get to the point. Boy, Jesus really raises the bar, doesn't he? Oh. This morning as I was, the one thing before I begin that I invite us to think about, to keep over here, is the Spirit. Because what Paul is talking about is not only the Spirit of Christ, the Spirit that is within Christ when he walked this earth, but that Spirit of Christ that again, not only dwelled in him, but that we also share in through our baptism. Amen? So that's that Spirit. But boy, I tell you, this morning, what a great morning. I slept pretty well, which sometimes you ever have that thing where all of a sudden your brain clicks on at the most inconvenient time? My brain has been doing that a lot lately. So I'll just get to bed, and then all of a sudden the brain goes, and it goes in full bore. You can almost hear the motor running. It's like a generator. And all of a sudden I'm awake, and I look at the clock, and it's midnight, and I'm going, no! So I get back to sleep. I had a great night's sleep. I drooled like a fountain. It was awesome. Awesome. Got up early this morning, and I went down here to Maverick because it was Sunday morning, and that Spirit was alive within me. And I wanted a donut. Don't say a word. I wanted a donut on a Sunday morning, and it was about 6. And I walk outside, and the sun is coming up, just gorgeous. So I went down to, and I really felt that Spirit, that immensity of God's love. And they didn't, and I really wanted a cinnamon roll, but they didn't have it. So I went down to Smith's, and I got a donut, just that immensity. And I get home, and I have my donut and my coffee. I'm a happy camper. Immensity of God's love. And I turn on my phone, and there's a text from somebody that I went out and I had a beer with last night. And it's a misunderstanding, but it's one of those texts where it's, how dare you? You did this. I am so disappointed. And I know exactly what they're talking about. But it's like, what do you think happened to that immensity? Vroom. I did. I did. I had a maple and a chocolate bar. It was awesome. I'm on a sugar high until about 1 when I crash. But that's what we're talking about today, my brothers and sisters, and that's what Christ does, is that what we're talking about is that immensity. God's love for us is immense. It's without measure. Doubt it? That's God's love for us, and he invites us into that same love, into that same Spirit. But what happens is when we hold grudges, when we don't forgive, when we do that stuff, when I'm looking at this text going, because one of the things that if you ever want to get on Father Tom's bad side, have an issue and send it to me in a text or an email. Because I'm the kind of guy where it's like, hey, we're all adults, you got a problem with me, call me up, we'll set up an appointment, we'll get it taken care of. I don't want to see it in a text, and I don't want to see it in an email. See? So it did, it went vroom. Well, so what happened? I had to take it to prayer and go, Tom, chill out, calm down. It's a misunderstanding. It's going to be okay. Get in touch with her via phone. Get it taken care of. See? And that's what will happen. And it's that restriction. When we don't forgive, when we hold a grudge, when we're not merciful, when we're not forgiving, again, it brings that immensity that is in our hearts, shrinks it down. And what does that do? But doesn't it affect our relationship not only with God, with others, and with ourselves? In a few moments, we're going to be receiving again, the immensity of God's love in the Eucharist, his body, blood, soul, and divinity. And what we're called to do is in that Eucharist that we receive the courage, we receive the fortitude, we receive the strength, we receive the possibility to remove that restriction and to be in that immensity. Because in that immensity, we also draw closer and closer and closer to the Lord. It's kind of like in a marital relationship. In a marital relationship, you know, married couples, that if there's any restrictions going on, it's going to affect your relationship. Amen? The same is true in our personal one-on-one relationship with God, with others, and with ourselves. So as we go about our day today, now, does this seem impossible? Yes. But God makes the impossible possible in his immensity of love. So as we go about our day today and enjoy this wonderful wet weather that looks like it's moving in, let's do a couple of things. One is pray for more rain and thank God for the moisture that he has given us. But also, let's really look at our hearts and see where they're restricted. And pray to God to remove that restriction so that we can enter more into that immensity that God invites us into, which is always, always his presence. Amen?
Amen.